list, and if you guys enjoy it, I'll do more band tier lists. But, my name is Metal ASMR. I mean, I didn't choose that because I thought I would be making a bunch of videos on metal music, don't get me wrong, but, I might as well throw it in there, and metal music and just music in general is something that I really enjoy, so I'd like to make more videos on it. And I also always like seeing people's opinions on my favorite bands. Unfortunately, Anthony Fantano shits on all my favorite bands, so what are you gonna do? For context, if you don't know who Anthony Fantano is, he's like the world's biggest, not the world's biggest, like the internet's biggest music reviewer. So, also, if you hear some background noise, I'm sorry. My sliding glass door is open, and my cat is laying in the sun next to the sliding glass door. And I don't have the heart to close it on him because he's just enjoying the sun so much. So, in the outside, so he's just kind of sitting there. So if you hear some birds chirping or some background noise, I don't live in a really busy area, so it shouldn't be too much. But, family comes first, right? Anyway, so I just have a typical list. I just got this off a tier list maker. Make sure I'm recording it. And I put in A, B, C, D, F. And then I also put a cover albums tier because, listen, I think Garage Days and Garage Inc. are cool, but, I don't think you can really compare them to Metallica, you know what I mean? Like, Metallica albums, they're cool. I like them, but it's something I gotta be in the mood for. And also, I think their best covers weren't even on those albums. Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil, I think, are their best covers, and those were on the deluxe edition of Ride the Lightning, I believe. Anyway, so here we have And Justice for All, the Black Album, Death Magnetic, Hardwired, Kill 'Em All, Load, Master of Puppets, Reload, Ride the Lightning, S&M, and Saint Anger. And now I have never done one of these tier lists before. Not even for my own fun, so I'm going to be figuring this out live. You're going to hear my thought process. Let's go in chronological order. So their first album was Kill 'Em All. Now where would I rate this? Is a good question. I would probably put Kill 'Em All at probably a C tier. And just full disclosure, I love almost every single one of these albums. I'm a Metallica super fan, so even if they slowed down, I still love those albums, but Kill 'Em All is a good album. Baseline, it's what set Metallica up to be great, and there's a lot of memorable songs on there, but it kind of feels like Metallica wasn't fully fleshed out, and obviously they were having some issues with Dave Mustaine at the time, so it's a good album. I would recommend everyone listen to it, but I think there are better Metallica albums, and that's the only reason why it's going in C. Not because it's a C album, but because their other albums are so much better, and their ideas are more fleshed out. For example, Ride the Lightning. I think Ride the Lightning is my favorite Metallica album. I'm putting that in A tier. I love it. What am I trying to say here? It's got some of my favorite songs on there. Creeping Death is one of my favorite Metallica songs. Fade to Black is one of the most infamous ballads ever, at least from the metal scene. Some deep cuts on it, like Trapped Under Ice, Escape, are both great. They just played Escape live for the first time, a few months ago, I think. They didn't like that song, but I love it. There's not what I think puts an album in my A tier is that if there's a song that I would not skip on it, and I could listen to Ride the Lightning front and back without skipping a single song. If there was one song I had to skip, I absolutely had to, it would probably just be For Whom the Bell Tolls, because I've heard it so many times. Not that it's a bad song, but if I absolutely had to, it would be that one. Anyway, so Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning. So now we got Master of Puppets. Well, that kind of has this. Master of Puppets should probably have its own tier, because Master of Puppets is like the defining album for Metallica's thrash metal days. Like, Master of Puppets is considered to be one of the best thrash albums of all time, so I probably should have made Master of Puppets just at the top, but, you know, I don't know. I don't think there's much that I can say about Master of Puppets that hasn't already been said. Like, it's just a genre-defining album, and it really has stood the test of time, considering in Stranger Things, they had a scene with Master of Puppets in it. I guess, I don't know, I don't watch Stranger Things, but that song, just because it was in Stranger Things, got onto the Billboard Top 100. It is a 40-year-old song, and now I'm seeing kids everywhere, kids, people my age, I should say, at school, like at college, wearing Metallica shirts. At my internship, I'm seeing people wearing Metallica shirts, like, everywhere. I'm seeing Metallica is everywhere right now, and it's all thanks to Master of Puppets. And I think that album will go down hundreds of years from now. Like, it'll still be around. I really think it's that influential of an album. And even some songs that you don't hear all the time, like Disposable Heroes, are great. I mean, Orion is one of the best instrumentals you'll ever hear. Master of Puppets, its namesake, obviously, is a fantastic song. Battery is one of their hardest songs. Leper Messiah is a really good one off of there, too. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. There's nothing that I can say that hasn't been said already about Master of Puppets. Sorry, just taking a sip of my coffee there. Alright, now we are on to And Justice for All. I really like this album, but I just don't think it has its issues. One being the treatment of Jason Newsted and turning the bass all the way down on the album. Like, I've heard versions of it where people have filled in their own bass and it sounds so much better. And also, I just have a really big soft spot for Jason Newsted. All the Metallica bass players, I have a really big soft spot for. I'm a really big bass guy. And, you know, it's just a real shame that they stabbed themselves like that just to make their album worse, just because they thought they were doing something for Cliff or whatever the reasoning is. But otherwise, it's got some great tracks on here, but it's also got some tracks that I would skip. I gotta pull the track list up on my phone just because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. Obviously, Blackened is a great one. One is one of my favorite songs. The Shortest Straw, amazing. Frayed Ends of Sanity, underrated. Dyer's Eve, one of the hardest and most fast-paced songs they've ever made. But, you know, To Live Is to Die is a really boring instrumental. I Have the Beholder, I have to be in the mood for. And Justice for All, the song is just way too long. And honestly, Harvester of Sorrow, I could skip. I have to be in the mood to listen to that one. So, its highs are highs. It's a great album. Again, all these albums are great. But compared to the first two, there's more skippable songs on And Justice for All than Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, you know. So, alright, now we're gonna get interesting. The Black Album. The most controversial Metallica album. This is when they started to slow down and make more poppy, hard rock sounding. I mean, it's still pretty heavy, but, you know, it's not fast, and that's what people were looking for, was fast. My opinion on this album goes back and forth every single day. And you know what? It's soft spot for this album because this is the album that got me into metal music, and I think that it has been a vessel for people who didn't listen to metal music to get into the genre ever since it came out in 1992 or 1991, whatever it was. It may have its flaws. It's not a perfect album by any means. Oh, I won't say by any means. It's a very, very good album, but it's not perfect. But I think without this album, a lot less people would be into the thrash scene, and by consequence, probably wouldn't find other bands like a Pantera, or maybe have gotten into the new metal scene or whatever genre of metal. I think this album is the album that gets people into that music. This is the pinnacle of like making that bridge between hard rock and metal. It's I don't know how they did it. And maybe it's just because Enter Sandman was so huge, so people see the Enter Sandman album. But I really think it deserves an A just based off of how influential the album was. And I mean, I don't mean influential in terms of the genre, I mean influential in just music as a whole. So, this looks like a pretty bland tier list so far, and I apologize. So, what do we have after the Black Album? Load. You all can bite me. I love Load. So, again, for people who don't know, Load came after the Black Album, and the Black Album was when Metallica started to slow down. And then Load, they took it a step further, and they cut their hair, and they kind of stopped appearing as a metal band, and they're trying to go for this weird, like, hard rock vibe. I don't know. But a lot of people hate this album because this is when they really strayed away from making pure metal music. It's still heavy, but it's a lot more hard rock. Like, I wouldn't consider this album metal at all. I would consider it hard rock. And a lot of people hate Metallica for that. I don't. I think bands need to explore different options, especially, I mean, by the time Load came out, I think they had been making the same music for 15, 20 years, close to, maybe not 20, probably like 15 years, and they had been on top, so they're trying to venture out and do something new, and if you do it well, you can get praise for it, but if you do it horribly, you'll get shit on for it, and apparently this album drew a line between fans, because I've heard a lot of people defend this album and a lot of people shit on it. I love it. I think this is a great hard rock album. Would I listen to it all the time? Probably not. But, you know, if I'm not trying to listen to something really fast or hardcore, like, you know, Load is good. I like it a lot, and it can also fit in with a lot of my other music tastes, because I'm a big grunge guy too. I love 90s rock, you know, or 80s hard rock, you know, not hair metal, but I say you know a lot, don't I? Holy cow. Anyway, I think it's just a good album. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's good. And it's also got points because they branched out, and they weren't afraid to branch out, and they made it work. They became one of the biggest bands in the world, if not the biggest, you know. Reload. So, you're probably thinking, how do you go from Load being in B to Reload being in D? Reload is just Load, but with worse songs. That's all it is. I mean, there's 2 songs off of Reload that I can remember and that I enjoy, and that is The Memory Remains and Fuel. If they had put those 2 songs on Load and took out something like Mama Says and The Cure, maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to remember songs off of that album I'm not too fond of. Load would have been a much better album if they had just taken the best songs from Reload and the best songs from Load and made one baby of an album. That would have been way cooler, but they didn't. And they put out Reload because I remember I saw in an interview, Lars and James were talking to an interviewer about how after the Black Album they just wrote so many songs, like 30, 40 songs, and a lot of those songs ended up coming on Load and Reload, because I think Reload came out a year after Load did. And after Load got that negative reception, I'm pretty sure they put out Reload just as a big fuck you to everyone who was hating on them. So, Reload was a swing and a miss for me. It's got some songs on it that are good, but I only remember 2 of them. Okay, so after Reload, there was S&M. S&M is the San Diego or the San Francisco Symphony? I don't remember, but Metallica played live with a symphony, and it is amazing. It is so fucking cool. I really love S&M. It's a shame S&M 2 isn't on here, but it's more just a rehash of the first one anyway. But they achieved something musically that no metal band has done nor will ever do. And it's not even as a metal fan, but just a fan of music as a whole. S&M is just like a wet dream. It is so fucking cool, and I don't listen to it all the time, but when I get in the mood to listen to it, it's such a good feeling. It's to listen to, like on a long drive, just listening, and when they play No Leaf Clover, I told you I'm a fanboy. It probably sounds like it right now. Anyway, so there's not much that I can say about that because there's nothing new on the album. It's just them doing a live performance with a symphony, and it's cool. Anyone, even if you don't like Metallica, needs to check it out. Also, James's voice is really unique on that. I don't know what they did to him, but it doesn't sound like it on any other performance I've seen of James. All right, so after that we have Saint Anger. This one's hard. I can't put it in F. And you know why I can't put it in F? It's because I have a lot of sympathy for what they were going through at the time that Saint Anger came out. And there are a couple of songs off of Saint Anger that I like Dirty Window, Saint Anger, and Frantic. I like that's more than Reload already. Just throwing it out there. But they had just lost Jason Newsted. James and Lars were not getting along. I believe James had just lost his father. Lars was acting like a little bitch. Kirk was having a hard time fitting in with the band too because they told him that there wouldn't be any guitar solos on this album. It was just a really hard time. Like, if you watch Some Kind of Monster, which is a documentary on the making of this album, it's almost like they knew this album would be bad. It shows a lot of the emotional distress the band was going through. And also, I give it some points because Rob Trujillo is on this album. This is his first album with the band, and I have a soft spot for him. Infectious Grooves, check it out. But I know I would sound like a broken record if I was to get on here and say, oh, it sounds like Lars had Tin Cans as his drum set. That doesn't really bother me that much. It doesn't sound bad, yeah, but it's been said a million times before. But when I get into a band, I get really interested in the people of the band and how their relationships and what they were going through reflect in the music at the time. And this was at a time that Metallica could have broken up, and we would have gotten no more music, no more tours, no more anything from them. But I like to think of this album as like an emotional sneeze, and they just got all the emotion out in this album. It's raw. You can hear the turmoil through the music, and I think that's an achievement of the album, even if the songs aren't that listenable. Like Invisible Kid, oh my god, that song is god-awful, but you can still hear the emotion through the album, and I think that is really cool. So I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets, especially when they play songs from Saint Anger live. They sound great. It's just the mixing on the album, the drums, The raw vocals sometimes didn't translate well, but if they're going for a sound, and that sound reflects how they're feeling at the time, and that's cool. So that's my feeling on Saint Anger, in case anyone was wondering. Next, we have Death Magnetic. I'm just gonna say it. I think Death Magnetic is a very, very good album. It is. And a lot of people will be like, oh, it's Metallica after the Black Album, how can it be good? Just listen to it, man. A lot of people go into Metallica albums, or like, anytime a new band, or an old band puts out a new album these days, they're like, oh, how could it possibly be good? And they go into it with this mentality, like, it can't possibly be good, but I tell you what, Death Magnetic is hard, it's fast, it kicks ass. All Nightmare Long, That Was Just Your Life, End of the Line, forgetting the name of the other songs. Even Cyanide, which is like the worst song on the album, has like some killer guitar in it. I don't know a lot of like technical terms for describing music, so excuse me if I just use terms like killer guitar. But it needs to be given a chance, and I think a lot of people are starting to open up to Death Magnetic. Death Magnetic, because I've seen a lot of people talk highly of it. Broken Beat and Scarred has a sick fucking riff. The only thing I would take points off would be for the Judas Kiss, because I don't really like that song all too much. And James Hetfield's hairstyle at the time, I don't understand what that beard and slicked back hair thing was. I don't understand it at all. But anyway, and lastly, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I got that in C tier just because it's good, but it felt like a step back from Death Magnetic. Like, it wasn't as fast, it wasn't as hard, and they keep touting off that, it's their return to thrash, it's their return to metal, which Death Magnetic definitely was. But Hardwired, I don't know, some of the lyrics were kind of corny. I didn't really like the way the album was produced all that much. What else? What else can I shit on the album for? Some songs are just not memorable. It's okay. It almost feels rushed, ironically, because it came out 8 years after Death Magnetic. Anyways, that's my opinion on Metallica albums. I hope you enjoy the list. Sorry for the abrupt ending. I just can't think of anything else to say. Like, I was gonna sit here and just talk about how bland Hardwired felt. But if you like Metallica, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Where would you put your stuff? I love having conversations about music, so drop your opinions in the comments. And if you don't like Metallica, tell me what some of your favorite bands are. I would love to know. And if they're bands I haven't heard of, I'd love to listen to them. Any genre, I don't care. I love all kinds of music. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something a little different. I'm enjoying trying to figure out ways to make different content. I love gaming videos, don't get me wrong. They're super easy to do, but, I gotta get a camcorder or something to record myself doing other things. But that's expensive. I could use my phone. I guess there's a way I could get an adapter for this microphone and put it in my phone, but I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the video. Drop some of your favorite bands in the comments below. And, yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Later.